Welcome to our channel, where bedtime stories come to life with a touch of reality. Join us on nightly adventures as we explore captivating true tales that will spark your imagination and leave you in awe. From extraordinary encounters to heartwarming moments, each story is a testament to the wonders of the world around us. Don't miss out on the magic. Hit subscribe and like to become part of our community and unlock a world of captivating stories waiting to be discovered. Together, let's journey into the realm of reality and beyond, one story at a time. Prophecy Chapter 1. Introduction to Hollowbrook. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows over the sleepy town of Hollowbrook. Nestled amidst rolling hills and dense forests, the town exuded an air of quiet tranquility, its cobblestone streets winding like veins through the heart of the community. Yet beneath the facade of idyllic charm, whispers lingered in the air like phantoms, hinting at secrets hidden beneath the surface. From behind lace curtains and over the brims of teacups, the townsfolk exchanged furtive glances, their conversations laced with the tremor of unease. In the dimming light of dusk, a figure moved through the streets with the fluid grace of a wraith. Clad in a cloak of midnight black, Shimo was a solitary presence, his footsteps muffled by the soft padding of leather against stone. As he passed beneath flickering street lamps, the townsfolk turned away, unwilling to meet his gaze. For Shimo was a man of mystery, his origins a whispered legend passed down through generations, his name spoken only in hushed tones by those brave enough to acknowledge his existence. In Hollowbrook, where time seemed to move at a languid pace, and the past lingered like mist in the morning air, Shimo was both a curiosity and a cautionary tale. Some whispered of dark deeds committed under the cover of night, while others spoke of a tragic love lost to the sands of time. Yet, despite the rumors that swirled like leaves caught in an autumn breeze, Shimo remained an enigma, his secrets locked away behind a mask of inscrutable silence. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the town in the embrace of twilight, Hollowbrook braced itself for another night of whispered secrets and hidden truths. Chapter 2. The Unsettling Night. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Hollowbrook plunged into an eerie stillness, broken only by the whispers that curled through the streets like tendrils of mist. In the dim light of dusk, the townsfolk retreated to the safety of their homes, casting wary glances at the encroaching darkness. Yet despite their best efforts to ignore the growing sense of unease, the signs of unrest were impossible to ignore. Strange shadows danced along the walls, their movements fluid and sinuous, as if possessed by a malevolent spirit. In the town square, a group of children whispered nervously amongst themselves, their eyes wide with fear as they recounted tales of the strange figures they had glimpsed lurking in the shadows. Their words hung in the air like a curse, casting a pall over the gathering dusk. As night fell, Hollowbrook was cloaked in a suffocating silence, broken only by the faint sound of chanting that drifted on the breeze. It seemed to emanate from the depths of the forest, a haunting melody that sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. In their homes, the townsfolk huddled together, their hearts heavy with dread as they awaited the inevitable horrors that lurked in the darkness. For on this night, 26th July, the veil between the worlds grew thin, and the boundaries of reality blurred into obscurity. On Chapter 3. Shimo's Call to the Forest. As twilight descends upon Hollowbrook, the whispers of uncertainty grow louder, weaving their way through the winding streets and narrow alleys. In the heart of the town, Shimo stands alone, a solitary figure cloaked in shadows. His presence is an enigma, his eyes betraying a depth of knowledge beyond his years. Tonight, as the moon hangs low in the sky and the stars shimmer with an ethereal glow, Shimo feels a pull unlike any he has experienced before. It tugs at the very fabric of his being, drawing him inexorably toward the ancient forest that looms on the outskirts of town. Despite the protests of his rational mind, Shimo cannot resist the siren call of the forest. He sets out into the gathering darkness, his footsteps echoing softly against the cobblestones as he ventures into the unknown. The forest welcomes him with open arms, its ancient trees swaying gently in the breeze as if whispering secrets among themselves. Shimo's senses are heightened, every rustle of leaves and chirp of crickets magnified in the stillness of the night. As he delves deeper into the heart of the forest, Shimo's pulse quickens with a mixture of trepidation and anticipation. He is acutely aware of the weight of his own existence, the burden of knowledge pressing down upon him like a heavy cloak. But still, he presses on, driven by an insatiable curiosity and an unshakable sense of destiny. For Shimo knows that whatever awaits him in the depths of the forest, he must face it head-on, for better or for worse. Chapter 4. Journey into Darkness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets of Hollowbrook, a palpable sense of unease settled over the town. Whispers of strange occurrences grew louder, echoing through the narrow alleyways and dimly lit taverns. In the midst of this atmosphere thick with tension, Shimo, a figure shrouded in mystery, felt an inexplicable pull toward the heart of the forest. His steps were hesitant at first, his mind wrestling with doubt and uncertainty. But the call of the unknown was too powerful to resist. The forest loomed before him, its ancient trees standing sentinel in the fading light. Each shadow seemed to dance with malevolent intent, and the air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay. As Shimo ventured deeper into the darkness, the world around him seemed to shift and warp, twisting reality into strange and unfamiliar shapes. Whispers brushed against his ears like ghostly fingers, urging him onward into the unknown. Despite the growing sense of dread gnawing at his insides, Shimo pressed on, driven by an insatiable curiosity that bordered on obsession. With each step, the forest seemed to swallow him whole, enveloping him in a suffocating embrace of darkness. But even as fear threatened to consume him, Shimo pushed forward, his determination outweighing his doubt. For he knew that somewhere amidst the tangled undergrowth lay the answers he sought, hidden in the shadows and waiting to be discovered. Chapter 5. The Midnight Gathering. As Shimo ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, the moon hung low in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the twisted branches and gnarled roots. The air crackled with a palpable tension, and a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the night. Suddenly, Shimo stumbled upon a small clearing bathed in moonlight, where a circle of shadowy figures stood in silent vigil. Their forms seemed to shift and waver in the darkness, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. With each hesitant step, Shimo approached the gathering, his heart pounding in his chest like a drumbeat. The air was thick with the scent of incense and ancient magic, and a chill ran down his spine as he beheld the leader of the group, their face hidden beneath a cowl of midnight. As the leader raised their arms in a sweeping gesture, the gathering erupted into a chorus of chilling chants that echoed through the night like a haunting melody. Shimo stood frozen in terror, his breath catching in his throat as he struggled to comprehend the scene unfolding before him. The shadows seemed to come alive, twisting and writhing in the flickering moonlight, as grotesque apparitions materialized from the darkness. Their eyes burned with an unholy fire, and their twisted forms loomed over Shimo like specters from a nightmare. With each passing moment, the darkness closed in around him, suffocating him with its oppressive weight. Panic surged through his veins, but he was rooted to the spot, paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of the horror unfolding before him. As the chants reached a fever pitch, Shimo felt a surge of primal fear grip him, threatening to consume him whole. In that moment, he knew that he stood on the precipice of something far beyond his comprehension, something that would forever change the course of his destiny. Chapter 6. Confrontation with the Unknown. In the heart of the forest, amidst the chilling chants and swirling shadows, Shimo found himself ensnared in a nightmarish tableau. The grotesque apparitions closed in around him, their twisted forms contorting with malevolent intent as they advanced with slow, deliberate steps. With every fiber of his being screaming for escape, Shimo fought against the suffocating grip of terror that threatened to consume him. His mind raced, searching desperately for a means of survival amidst the chaos and darkness that surrounded him. Summoning every ounce of courage he possessed, Shimo raised his trembling hands in a feeble attempt to ward off the advancing shadows. But his efforts were futile against the inexorable tide of darkness that threatened to engulf him. As the creatures drew closer, their eyes blazing with an unholy light, Shimo felt a primal instinct take hold within him. With a guttural cry of defiance, he lashed out with all the strength he could muster, striking out against the encroaching darkness with a ferocity born of desperation. For a fleeting moment, the air crackled with the energy of their clash, the sounds of their struggle echoing through the silent forest like a symphony of madness. But despite his valiant efforts, Shimo soon found himself overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the darkness that surrounded him. As he stumbled backward, his strength waning with each passing moment, Shimo knew that he stood on the brink of oblivion. With one final desperate glance into the abyss, he braced himself for the inevitable onslaught, his mind awash with a tumult of fear and despair. But just as all hope seemed lost, a sudden surge of light pierced the darkness, banishing the shadows and scattering the grotesque apparitions like leaves before a tempest. In that blinding moment of clarity, Shimo glimpsed a flicker of salvation amidst the chaos, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching despair. With renewed determination, Shimo pressed forward, his resolve strengthened by the knowledge that he was not alone in his struggle. For even in the darkest depths of the forest, there remained a glimmer of light, a spark of hope that refused to be extinguished. Chapter 7. Flight from Darkness. As the first rays of dawn began to filter through the dense canopy above, Shimo emerged from the heart of the forest, his body battered and bruised, but his spirit unbroken. Behind him, the echoes of his harrowing confrontation with the unknown lingered like a haunting melody, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. With each labored breath, Shimo stumbled forward, his limbs heavy with exhaustion and his mind reeling from the horrors he had witnessed. Yet, despite the overwhelming odds stacked against him, a glimmer of determination burned bright within his chest, driving him ever onward towards the safety of Hollowbrook. The forest seemed to stretch out endlessly before him, its twisted paths twisting and turning like the tendrils of a labyrinth. Yet, with each faltering step, Shimo pressed forward, guided by an instinctual sense of direction that seemed to emanate from deep within his soul. Behind him, the shadows stirred, their presence a constant reminder of the danger that lurked just beyond the edge of his perception. With each passing moment, the sense of urgency grew more pronounced, driving Shimo onwards with a relentless force that brooked no dissent. At last, after what felt like an eternity of stumbling through the darkness, Shimo emerged from the forest's embrace, his eyes blinking in the harsh light of the morning sun. Before him lay the familiar sight of Hollowbrook, its streets bathed in the soft glow of dawn, and its rooftops reaching towards the sky like outstretched arms. With a weary sigh of relief, Shimo stepped out onto the cobblestone streets, his heart heavy with the weight of his ordeal. Yet, even as he sought solace amidst the familiar surroundings of his hometown, he knew that the memory of the midnight gathering would linger with him for years to come, a shadow that refused to be dispelled by the light of day. Chapter 8. Return to Hollowbrook. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, illuminating the forest with a soft golden glow, Shimo emerged from the depths of the darkness, his body battered and bruised, his spirit weary and worn. The echoes of his harrowing ordeal reverberated through his mind like a haunting melody, each note a painful reminder of the horrors he had witnessed. With each faltering step, Shimo retraced his path through the forest, guided by the faint glimmer of daylight filtering through the canopy above. The air was heavy with the scent of dew and fresh earth, a welcome respite from the oppressive darkness that had engulfed him only moments before. As he emerged from the forest's embrace, Shimo found himself standing on the outskirts of Hollowbrook once more, the familiar sights and sounds of the town greeting him like an old friend. But beneath the surface, he sensed a shift in the air, a subtle undercurrent of unease that lingered in the wake of his absence. With a heavy heart, Shimo made his way through the quiet streets of Hollowbrook, his mind awash with memories of the night's events. Whispers followed in his wake, curious gazes and murmured conversations trailing after him like ghosts in the mist. As he reached the heart of the town, Shimo paused before the ancient oak tree that stood at its center, its gnarled branches reaching toward the sky like fingers grasping for salvation. In that moment, he felt a profound sense of isolation, a loneliness that seemed to stretch on into eternity. But even amidst the darkness that threatened to engulf him, Shimo found solace in the knowledge that he was not alone. For though the shadows may linger and the whispers may haunt his every step, he knew that he carried within him a spark of light, a flicker of hope that refused to be extinguished. With that realization, Shimo took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenges that lay ahead. For though the road may be long and the path may be treacherous, he knew that he would face whatever trials awaited him with courage and determination, guided by the unwavering strength of his spirit and the boundless power of his will. Chapter 9. Echoes of the Gathering. In the aftermath of the midnight gathering, Hollowbrook remained ensnared in the grip of darkness, the memory of 26 July haunting the town like a specter from a forgotten nightmare. Whispers of Shimo's descent into madness echoed through the streets, casting a pall of uncertainty over the once peaceful community. As dawn broke over the horizon, the townsfolk emerged from their homes, their faces drawn and weary from a sleepless night filled with fear and uncertainty. Conversations buzzed with speculation and conjecture, each whispered rumor adding fuel to the growing sense of unease that permeated the air. In the town square, a gathering of concerned citizens congregated, their voices hushed as they exchanged tales of the previous night's events. Some spoke of shadowy figures lurking in the darkness, while others whispered of strange chants echoing through the forest. But amidst the chaos and confusion, there remained a glimmer of hope, a flicker of light that refused to be extinguished. For even as fear threatened to consume them, the people of Hollowbrook found strength in their shared struggle, their resolve hardened by the knowledge that they were not alone in their plight. As the day wore on, the town slowly began to stir from its slumber, the rhythm of daily life gradually returning to normalcy. But beneath the surface, a sense of apprehension lingered, a nagging doubt that refused to be ignored. For though the shadows may have receded for the time being, the memory of the midnight gathering lingered on, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edges of their reality. And as the sun dipped below the horizon once more, casting long shadows across the cobblestony streets, the people of Hollowbrook braced themselves for the trials that lay ahead, their spirits fortified by the knowledge that they would face them together, united in their determination to overcome the darkness that threatened to consume them. Chapter 10. The Legacy of Darkness. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the memory of the midnight gathering slowly faded from the forefront of Hollowbrook's collective consciousness. Life in the quaint town resumed its familiar rhythm, with bustling markets, jovial taverns, and children's laughter echoing through the streets once more. Yet beneath the veneer of normalcy, a lingering sense of unease persisted, like a shadow that refused to be dispelled by the light of day. Whispers still danced on the lips of the townsfolk, tales of the mysterious events of 26 July passed down from generation to generation like a cautionary tale. Shimo, once a figure of mystery and intrigue, faded into obscurity, his name spoken in hushed tones by those who dared to remember the darkness he had brought upon the town. Some claimed he had vanished into the depths of the forest, forever lost to the shadows that had claimed him, while others whispered of a more sinister fate, his soul forever bound to the darkness that had consumed him. Yet, despite the lingering sense of apprehension that hung in the air, life in Hollowbrook persisted, its people resilient in the face of adversity, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they had faced the darkness and emerged stronger for it. And so, as the seasons turned and the years passed, the memory of the midnight gathering became little more than a footnote in Hollowbrook's history, a cautionary tale told to children to remind them of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. But though the darkness may have receded for the time being, the legacy of 26 July lived on, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope in the face of adversity. And as the sun set on another day in Hollowbrook, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, the people of the town braced themselves for whatever trials the future may hold, secure in the knowledge that they would face them together, united in their determination to keep the darkness at bay. Thank you for watching this video. Your support means a lot. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave your comment below. Your engagement truly makes a difference.